Hello and welcome to this week's episode of That Real Estate Tech Guy. I'm your host, Jordan Samuel Fleming. And I always say this episode's amazing, but this episode is amazing. And I have Jenn and Joe Delle from Creative Finance Playbook on. Right now is a really hot time to be looking at the different creative finance models. Um, and if you don't know Jen and Joe, you need to. They have built up a great following on Facebook and in social media because they have built a really, really great community and a really, really great course that pushes you through to success, right? So many times we talk about this a bit. So many times you get people who talk big games and make big flashy promises. And one of the things I love about this conversation with the two of them is that they talk about sort of just this the situation they were in, which wasn't, like working and debt and trying to figure out how to build things. And they just methodically, they learned, they grew, they learned, and they built a really solid foundation. And that's not flashy, but it is phenomenal, and it's something everybody needs to hear because the flash isn't what wins. That kind of consistent application and endeavor and focus wins, and Jen and Joe are focused and driven. And a ton of fun, by the way. I've hung out with them a couple times now, and they're amazing kids. And they've built a great life. They help people. They build great community. They got a great program. This is one of those times when you should be right away looking for the links, popping over and joining their Facebook group and starting to learn and find out how Jen and Joe can help you. It's a great episode, tons of fun, and you're going to learn a lot because I did as well. So, enough about me. Let's dive right into my conversation with Jen and Joe Delle. And I'm live with my friends Jen and Joe Delle. Guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm so delighted you're here. Give us a little introduction to you guys and where you are right now.
Well, thank you so much for having us on. We're super excited to be here.
Yeah, and thank you. Really appreciate it. We're Jen and Joe, husband and wife team. We now live in Florida. We do real estate deals. We've been doing it a long time, but we didn't start that way.
Nope, I was a middle school English teacher, did all the right things, and found myself going into debt and trying to get my master's degree while working getting a teaching or having a teaching job and owning my own house, and realized it was really not the end all be all after all. I met Joe in 2008, and we started dating, and some of the dates took us to some really rundown, disgusting properties. And yeah, I'm talking cat pee, all the things, dirt, like just gross junk houses. I'd walk in and basically run out. And he shared with me his vision because at the time he was at the car business in a dealership world. And he said, one day if I buy all these rentals, I could work for myself, I have my own business. And what we discovered early on is that our schedules didn't align and we really liked each other. And so the goal was to spend more time together. And one day, ended up happening a lot sooner, and we can get into that. But now, yeah, we're a homeschooling family of two beautiful children that we were able to pull out of public schools. And now we travel and homeschool and do our business all together.
Yeah. I mean, you just hit it on the head. And I stumbled into real estate not too long before I met Jen because I was at a buddy's house. This was the year 2000, so 26 years ago. And he bought a wholesaling course off a late night commercial from Ron LeGrand. And I was like, buddy, you got to let me borrow this. We're like best friends. So oh, they were. I still have them. They're audio cassette tapes. There's a couple VCR tapes and a book. And I did what it said. And I mean, Jordan, I was so broke back then. Like if I had $1,000 to my name, I didn't pay my rent yet that month. But it said I can make $3,000 in 30 days. So I put it to action. Little over a month later, I had a deal under contract. Now, I didn't know what I was doing, but I read the book. I watched the tapes a few times. I stumbled through it. I made $12,177. Like, changed my whole world on one deal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do this all of the time. But then you get caught up in real world stuff, right? Like jobs and friends and going out. So it took me some time till I met Jen. But then when we did in '08, the market was dipping. Uh, investors were kind of getting out of the space, and we were just finding these deals, and we were just buying one a year, doing the strategy BRRRR. I didn't know that was even a term back then, but we were just finding these junkers in nice neighborhoods, remodel them, rent them out, and then refinance, go find another one. And it was slow to scale. But we really stumbled into like this one strategy about 2016 when the bank told us they were going to only give us 10 mortgages, because we were refinancing out with the next ones. And this is when I learned like they're going to cap me. Because when I told Jen my theory, like my theory was like 100 houses, and 10 wasn't going to be there. So I felt discouraged that I was going to have to work in the car business till I was 90, until I found out how to buy real estate without banks and credit. We just started figuring the strategy, implemented it, and then in the next 3 years, our portfolio doubled. And good news, it did, because in 2020, just 6 years ago, almost to the day, COVID was happening. And I have Crohn's disease, so I take Humira. It's a medication that lowers my immune system. So my doctor's like, it might not be safe for you to be around thousands of people at the dealership, because I was in finance, so I met everybody. So this was the kind of the part where we pivoted, and Jen was the convincer. She was like, "You're not going back to work. We're gonna do
I
this
was like,
full
it's our
time."
sign. We're supposed to do this full time. And yeah, definitely was scary, but so worth it.
Yeah. And so that's what we just started doing. We've already wholesaled. We've done remodels, so we knew how to flip. We were learning how to keep rentals without banks and credit. We even learned rent to own. So now we're actually making a lot of money with our rentals because they're giving us like these huge deposits. So when we learned this strategy, now I was just doing it full time. And we just brought on a few interns, and we went from doing one deal a year to doing a handful of deals every month. Um, and in 2020, when the world was shutting down, we didn't know any better. We just stayed hunkered in, locked in, worked our tails off, like didn't leave the house. There was no date nights, like none of that was happening, with myself, my wife, and our 2 little kids and a dog.
Yeah. Well, I love many things about that. First, I love the idea of you taking Jen on dates to shitty houses.
Mhm.
I think that's. I mean, I think that's great. I think that's awesome. My first date with my wife was going walking in a park. I think you beat me on the unique first date elements. I've never heard the dilapidated house one. I love that a lot, and also I love you know, very few people talk about that part. What both of you talked about of the like if I had $1,000, you weren't paying the rent, and Jen, you debt, and a job that wasn't going well, and we've all, unless you're born fabulously wealthy, there's never going to be a point where we haven't, particularly if you're a business, if you go into business where you're not in that situation really, really badly, and the fact that you guys were able to kind of focus in and just focus down and repeat the process and learn and grow and learn and grow and learn. It sounds like you just, you found it, and then you just kept stacking and layering up understanding and experience to the point now where you guys have not only a hugely successful real estate business that, and I've met your kids and you've got a wonderful family, but you've built coaching and community, and all of that seems to have really been a methodical, instead of the flashy look at us, how quickly we went. It's more like we layered this up, and the success that we've got here is built on a foundation of work and effort and focus and continued. And that's really nice, because so often in the real estate world there's it's always flash. It's always flash, and never that strong build. And I think that's really fun about what you guys have just described.
Well, I always felt that real wealth is silent. And some of the most wealthy guys and girls that I knew that worked at a car dealership, the owners, the guy could walk right by you, or one of them, she could walk right by you. I mean, you would never think that the guys were hundreds of millions of dollars. They didn't have anything Gucci, none of the flashy stuff at all. And so, I'm okay with if you got it and you want it to flaunt it, that's fine. But for me, like my flashiness is like all the rentals we have. And like the flashiness to me is like I get to work next to her all day long. And this is not like a virtual background. This is our backyard. So like to me, that's what I ultimately love. Although, yeah, Lambos are cool. I mean, getting in and out of them all the time. I mean, and I got kids. There's only 2 seats. Like, I get it, right? I
It's a
get it.
pain, and yeah, Lambo's, it's a pain, and you gotta get like, as you get older, you're getting down that way and then getting up. It's just, it only looks good in motion. It's not good to live with.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
But the sacrifice is real, and I think that's important that you stopped on that because, yeah, there is this Amazon Prime world that we live in. You order it today, it's here tomorrow, ideally, and it's just that's not what real wealth is. It just doesn't happen like that. And there are like so many moments as you're saying that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the time where we paid cash for some land that we were going to build on, and guess what? Bank accounts were a little tight that Christmas because we just spent a whole lot of money, but then fast forward, what we didn't know is that we didn't end up building and then that we doubled that money in 2020 when we sold the land because we realized we didn't even have to live there because now we could work and live anywhere. So
Damn.
it's crazy because the sacrifices are real and it's hard when you're going through them, especially when you see everybody else. I think about COVID, like I wasn't binging on all of the TV shows and movies and all the fun books I could have been reading. Like I was Think and Grow Rich every single morning, like head down, trying to like, okay, keep my mind right. Cause I knew if I could keep my mindset on our goal and really like have our why is that burning desire, then anything would be possible. Surrounding ourselves with the right mentors and thank goodness for Facebook. That's how we were connecting with sellers at the time was all through virtual messaging and Zooming. So the tech side of that was just like literally like a total game changer for our business and life. So that was wild times.
Yeah, we were doing virtual walkthroughs on people's houses on like a Zoom call. I'm like, all right, turn your phone this way, right? Because back in COVID, when it first started happening, this is right when everything kicked off for us. So when the world was shutting down, agents couldn't even show houses. Jen and I are buying them. So we couldn't go to the houses. People, I'm like, all right, turn your phone. So like technology, I absolutely love it, right? And it's never been easier in the history of humans to do this business. When I got started 25 years ago, there was no Facebook. There was none of these YouTube channels with, training. It was like you have a
Pull out your VCR.
get your
yeah, I was gonna
VCR.
say, you have a big box of tapes, and you
Yeah.
got and a manual.
Yeah, and there wasn't like when you were done with those, like where do I go get more of this? It was like you had to order it somewhere, and it had to take weeks to get to your house, right? And that's if you had a credit card to even pay for it. Um, so, it's really changed a lot. Technology's gotten better. AI implementation, we were chatting about that before this. Like, it's only going to get better. And so, this is an opportunity of a lifetime I see right now. Technology is just starting to implement, but my gosh, it's going to be a curve. It's going to happen. And I think this is an opportunity for some really high level operators to go to another level than ever before. So it's continually getting easier. We're able to get more help. We're letting technology do some of the heavy lifting. Because
Mhm.
like I was driving for dollars and calling like code enforcement and like, man, now it could pull a list, it could reach out, like, right. It's so much easier now. So I love it. I think there's a lot of opportunity in this space still to be had.
Literally no excuses.
Yeah.
Well, but interesting. I agree with you 100% on the technology side of things, but I think your story illustrates a really important principle of this, which is it has never been as easy as now. I agree with you. Like you have more tools, education, and opportunity, reach, communicate, everything at your fingertips. But it's the discipline that's going to win.
Yeah.
Whatever flashy bit of tech you invest in thinking it's the shiny thing that's going to take you to the top, I think your story of discipline of layering on experience and kind of walking forward rather than sprinting to the flashiest thing. But you now, to be fair, you probably began walking because you couldn't run because none of us have any money, and so we can't run when we're starting out. But that I think that layering on is a really important bit because if you take that approach with everything we have right now, man, come on, like
Yeah.
it's like you to not succeed would be the weird thing.
And
Um,
it's been easier now. Like get a job that pays you well, right? Take some of that money, reinvest that back into deals. Whether you're wholesaling or flipping, like start doing yourself some deals. Don't just get the money and blow all of it, right?
Mhm.
Like it's great to say that, but don't. Save some of it, invest it so your money's actually working for you. So I mean, I was just a guy at a dealership. I wasn't making millions of dollars. It would have been nice, but I wasn't. But it was good enough money to where I could pay my bills and buy a house with seller financing where I could come up with $3,000 for closing costs and a $4,000 down payment because I was able to get great terms. And these were some of the like cleanest, nicest houses that she would go to. Right, some of these houses we bought with as little as $100
The
down.
house has gotten nicer the longer I stayed with him. Who knew?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's still some junkers, but we don't,
We don't go to them.
we don't. We just hire people to do that now. And most of our deals are all done virtually, so we do a lot of them in New York while we live in Florida. Although we're buying one in just down the street from us. I haven't been to it. Beautiful house, beautiful neighborhood, $5,000 down with a 3.25 interest rate. Motivated seller, right? He reached out to us, so
Mhm.
those deals are just happening all over the place right now. So now is the time to really hit the market. There's a little bit of change going on in the world, and I think why most people kind of get distracted. Now's the time to get focused, stick to the basics, make good deals, and reinvest back into your business and yourself. So getting around the right coaches. Like I didn't figure any of this out on my own. I'm not that smart. I just listened to what they said. They like do this. I'm like, okay, I could
You're
go do
also
that.
smart enough to know like some of the intricacies, like you don't want to do it wrong. So
Yeah.
hire the people who do it, who have done it, or are doing it, have the right contracts, paperwork, agreements, all of that
Yeah.
fun stuff. Get around the right attorneys and all of that. Like it's really important.
Absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned holding up, Zoom calls, walkthroughs. One of we added video calling to smartphones specifically for two use cases. One, virtual wholesaling and virtual house buying, where people want to be able to do a video call, record it, and have it automatically sync to their lead. So they've got it right against their lead in their CRM. And two, property management, where you've got maintenance, and they want to see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Right? But those little bits of technology now mean that you could buy a house tomorrow in Arkansas, having never been there. If the numbers stack up and everything is right, you've got enough technology to be able to manage it from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And
And that's the beautiful part of it. Like even when we do rent to own, I've got a guy in California who hops on his phone to do a FaceTime with my properties in New York or down here in Florida. And so the tenant who's inquiring is walking the property on, they're just on the FaceTime walking together. And so literally, like I would have never thought that would be possible before, but it's like, I feel like we are turning more into like the Jetsons, like the older I get.
I think Star Trek.
Star
For me, it'll be
Trek.
Star Trek. I feel that Star Trek was a little cooler and a little edgier.
Have you watched Star Trek?
I used to love Star Trek.
Oh boy. Okay.
Well, and I think it's like, right, there's so many opportunities now, just nothing is stopping you.
No, it's
Nothing is
cool. It's
stopping you.
fun. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Don't be scared of it, but like learn about it, use it, try what I feel like you just gotta try things.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of them.
Well, good segue point, because you mentioned get the right coaches. Good segue point into the fact. So, what was we're obviously going to dive into your guys' community and coaching program that you guys have. It's very successful. It's very well known. But I'm curious before we get into the specifics of it. What was the thing that drove you from being just a successful investors, right? From being successful investors to wanting to build a community yourself. You obviously saw coaches, you used coaches, you valued it. What was it in you that felt, I want to actually now start to do this? What did you see missing, or what did you see that you needed to do?
That's such a wonderful question. I feel like there's so many layers and it just happened organically. And I think out of again, going back to the COVID time, we did was hop on our Instagrams and Facebook and we would share what we were doing. And because we were sharing cannot say that word.
Horrible.
Vulnerable, and we were being authentic and we're just being us, and people would reach out and say, hey, like, how did you just buy a house with $100 down, and can you teach me? And I remember a couple people were kind of pushy, like, no, like, I need to send you money, where do I send it? And I'm like, well, we're really busy doing our own deals, like, I don't know if we could take it on. And then we thought about it, and I was a teacher, and that part of me who just loves like seeing those aha moments and really like the light bulb clicking and like truly making a difference in people's lives. And then he's always been a huge leader in his industry and training and all of that. And I think together, because he really has some of like those key nuts and bolts, and then I can break it down because I was a middle school teacher and none of it made sense to me. So if I could like take what he's saying and break it down further, we just took on a handful of people, clients one on one. back in 2021, and they just started having such tremendous success that we saw a true need for a community because I was the wife at home while he's doing crazy hours at the dealership. And if I had a community like this where I could pop in and ask a question, have somebody call my seller for me, he would have been out of that dealership way sooner than 2020. Like, I really believe that because I would have then had the confidence and the know-how and the feeling of like, okay, I have a safe place to ask silly questions. And that's where we really started building our small group, which today is just our favorite because now you've got a whole group of women, men, couples, people just, wanting, running their day-to-day lives, whether stay-at-home mom or working full-time, and they're able to find the time to build the wealth for their family and talk to sellers, and then really coming back to that human element of like people are in need of your help. And I feel like that's the kind of people we attract most is they want to build wealth, but they also really want to help people because there's a million ways to make money. But man, it feels so great when you help a seller out and then also turn a renter into homeowner and we're all high-fiving. Pretty cool.
Well, I think too, we had a cheat code. Like we were like a version of AI before AI was as popular because like I had like the numbers breakdown. She could make it like a middle school, right? Transition to where like, oh my gosh, because that's what we try to do, make it easy for everybody to understand. Because I would go on these like a date night and I'm like, there's terms and we could do this with the land
Back to date
trust.
nights.
And she's like, dude, like what is up with this, right? But that was like I was obsessed. I was so obsessed. So when she could get all this gobbledygook out of my head and translate it to a seventh, eighth grade level that makes it easier for everybody to understand, because nothing we're doing is rocket science.
No.
You talk to a motivated seller, you make a good offer, you could buy it even with seller financing on the nice houses, right? And then make good deals. Like it's not overly complicated. So when we had everybody reaching out and their businesses just like launched, we had a waiting list. It was every, handful of months, we'd only work with select, small group of clients. And we had a waiting list just kept on building and building and building. Just helping normal people turn into some rock stars. A lot of people quit their jobs. They do this full time. One, she just wrote a book with bigger pockets last summer about self-managing your rentals. I mean, it's really, really cool when you start helping these folks crush it because then, it builds more than just a community. Like these are our friends now too.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt this amazing conversation, but I wanted to make sure you knew that Smartphone, the only phone system built for real estate investors, connects to the best-in-class real estate investing CRMs. And because, as it's my show and I am co-founder and chairman of Smartphone, I got some great deals for you. Click the link and take advantage of 5,000 minutes free calling with Smartphone, the only phone system built for real estate investors. Click and call. Close more leads. Back to the show. And so do you think, just out of curiosity, I mean, I think two things I'd pick up on that. One, I know your date nights are better than that now because
Oh, yeah.
I've been on boats with old fashions. I've been on yachts with you with old fashions and ribeyes. So, you
All that
definitely
same
leveled
workout.
up. Yeah, you've leveled up. But the, make really good teaching, really good teaching, and making something that maybe is quite complex, not making it simple, but making it understandable. But I used to teach scuba diving, and we used to talk about the progressive nature of teaching, where you assess someone's skills, and then you progressively build up a skill, and sometimes have to break it down to like put mask here, take off, because they're scared of water. I had a student once who was literally scared of putting their face underwater. So I had her just go down to where water was here. And then why, but that progressive element of teaching and taking something that's quite big and building it into a something that people can follow and be brought through. It's a skill that not everybody has. And I feel like a lot of times coaches, no, there are definitely some people in many of these industries who have a reputation of being coach because they've got a big profile, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can really genuinely take you with them. And so it sounds to me like when you guys went and decided to build this, it wasn't so much of the ego side, which so much of it is. It was a combo of the teaching instinct, the managing instinct, and the kind of helping instinct.
Right. And these are our friends, like they were reaching out to us. So like when our business is thriving and they're all struggling, like, and they're like, dude, I just need your help. And I'm like, well, I can't just get on like one call. It's not going to be good enough. Like we're going to have to like continually like go over because new things are going to pop up as you're moving down the road. So I can't just call like whenever every Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. Like we need to start doing this more formally. And it just became such an uprise of people asking for that, where Jen's like, all right, we got to do something. But we had deals going all over the country. I mean, Alaska, New York, Florida, Pennsylvania, like Arizona. So we had deals like in escrow in many states. We had our own team that we were managing. So once we just broke it down, like for them, like we did our own, interns and things like that, it was just, it's all over.
But I loved your analogy because I'm terrified to even go under the water like you're talking about. Like I've done it. I'll put a goggle on and swim around, but like to go like scuba diving, that seems so scary.
We were
Like
talking
good
about,
luck trying to get me down there.
I told them that when we went out to dinner.
Yeah, good luck. But you're so right because I think that's where we complement each other really well. There's so many times where like you can't even talk about the deal or structuring or analyzing it because there's some sort of blockage and a fear of posting a Facebook post telling everybody that you're buying houses or even picking up the phone and asking a seller question. So really having the time to kind of break down those barriers and try to, give them suggestions because you can't make somebody do something, but like, hey, I was there too. Like I did cry after a seller call because I didn't know what amortization meant and realizing like I didn't have all the answers, but that was okay. And this is a learning process. So I think that just being again like open and honest with people, like I wasn't that far like that long ago. I was in your shoes. Like I was literally, making these calls, scared to post, didn't know what I was talking about, rent to own. Like how many times people are like, that's a scam, and I have to sit there and explain. And so it's just sharing your story and doing, not standing on a pedestal. Like you're just a human and you're helping other humans. And if you can just make them feel that, like, oh, I can do it too. But everybody's got a different little nuance for sure. Some people already have it and they can just pick up the phone and start dialing. But some people have some stuff to work through. And I kind of like that part of it.
Let me ask, before we move into the final bits where we can, I really want to make sure I understand how people can find you guys and what sort of help you're able to provide a wider network of people as well. Because I know you've obviously got your small groups, which are probably invite only and waiting lists, as you say. But I know you have wider communities as well, where you have resources available to people. But let me ask a question: when you, I speak to everybody in this industry at this point. We have thousands and thousands of customers of different types of, what commercial and land and creative and wholesalers and blah blah blah. Um, Looking at where things are going right now, more people are talking about the different exit strategies and the different engagement strategies than ever before, right? It used to be real simple: learn wholesaling, graduate to fix and flip, and then figure out which ones you want to keep. That felt like the progression. Now that seems to be changing a lot as the markets are changing and instability is happening. Do you feel like now and for the next little while? I mean, I know it's crystal ball, so don't. I'm not. But by the way, everybody, we're not wizards. But
Speak
do
for
you feel
yourself.
like
No, just kidding.
well, I'm not. But do you guys feel like now more than ever the sort of the creative side of things and having those different kind of engagement models is a really important thing to have in your tool bag?
I think it's an absolute must because here's what happens, right? You're going to generate leads. Every investor, we're going to get leads. We're going to be talking to sellers or agents. And some of these houses are fix and flips, right? If you get any of those under contract, rather than you flipping it, taking all the risk, wholesale it. Get yourself find who your buyers are and wholesale that cash deal. But now for every other seller where they wanted too much money, nice house, but they were highly motivated, you could buy every one of those or make an offer with seller financing or some type of terms. And many times I'm able to pay top dollar a lot more than I could with cash if I'm able to get excellent terms. This is why on my house that we're buying right now, a turnkey house in Florida, $5,000 down. It's only built in '07, so it's not even old. It's got a new roof, AC last year, and it cash flows. I have a 3.25 interest rate. So he would never take a wholesale half off offer, but man, he was a really motivated seller. He bought the house to live in. He got in there for 4 months in his job, took him back to California, got called back to the office, and now he's an accidental landlord. He's like, I don't want to be a landlord. And Jordan, the property cash flows with a renter who's already been in there for years. It's like the best situation. I walk into making 400 and something bucks a month from day one. I just got to give this guy $5,000 and take over his payments. No banks, no credit checks, no. I mean, I talked to the title company yesterday. We're closing in about 3 weeks. So easy peasy. So keep the good ones without you having to flip them, right? Talk to that motivated seller's guy. Like, these are my favorite deals by far. No contractors, no nothing. I close on it. I own a turnkey house. And I mean, one we bought was just a couple years old last year. So these deals are out there, a lot of those. And then on all the junkers that you're making offers on, wholesale, every one of those. Wholesale, every one of them. So if you just stuck
Are
to
you
that
talking
too,
yourself too, or just because again,
well, we're doing
he
flips.
keeps telling me we won't do flips, but
We got a big one right now, and I just got bumped up because we had to put some extra insulation in it. But that's good. It'll be great when it's done. However, if you wholesale some of those and then keep the nice ones, and then the best part about it all is when we do a lease, we don't just do a regular lease. We do a lease with the option to buy. So our renters are giving us 20 to 30,000 to move into our rentals. They're willing to pay even over rent sometimes, so our cash flow is phenomenal. And we're doing a case study because we just had one where he just bought the house. We made over 6 figures in profit, but when he moved in, he referred a friend who we bought that house with $100 down. We made over 6 figures in profit on that, turned everyone into a homeowner, roll that money into a 1031 exchange, and now it's opening up so many more properties. This is the terms method. We did all of this, grew over 250,000 of profit. With the first deal was only $7,000 down on a beautiful house. It was turnkey. So how can we continue to have that money work for us? It's like hitting the magnifying glass. So I think if you just get that active income from your wholesale deals, maybe do a flip however often, but stick to wholesaling majority and keep the nice ones for yourself, and then do a lease option. Like, this is the path to wealth.
well, yeah.
And then you do that for, 5 years, your life is going to be different. You do that for 10 years, you're going to be, in the very top echelon. And then you just keep on going, which could get into multifamily with creative finance. You could buy commercial. One guy in our community did a car wash with seller financing.
And you don't know what avenues are going to open up too. Like our one client, Grace, she opened up the Wire community, which is now this huge women in real estate investing. They have retreats all over the world. They just got back from Guatemala. She wrote a book with Bigger Pockets. So it's just like you never know what doors can open if you just start real estate investing one door at a time. Get around the right people that you click with that really see the vision, and surround yourself with winners, because like the sky's the limit. I would have never thought 6 years ago if we'd be sitting here on podcasts, recording, coaching community, like clients leaving their jobs and, being full-time real estate investors, and other people homeschooling their kids to be able to travel and spend time together, because society definitely has this crazy shift, and it's awesome to see, because I was a public school teacher, so I was all about that. And then when I realized that we didn't have to stay in one spot, and I couldn't just pull the kids out whenever I felt like traveling. And so that was our big reason. I'm like, let me just look into this a little further, because that scared me too. Like, can I really take control of my children's education? Like, that's a heavy feeling. And then when you realize, like, heck yeah, you can. Like, you're their parent. No parent is incapable. I truly believe that. Like, you have your best part in mind for your child. Like, you know exactly what they need and how to serve them best. And so just love throwing that in there too, because it is there's so many creative things that we do, and I love it. There's no black and white around here.
Yeah, the part that we could do it together
Yeah.
is the ultimately best gift. Like, you were at the mastermind. My 13-year-old daughter was like, Dad, can I come to that? Like, we're going to be at the family mastermind next week. Like, our kids are this month. Oh my gosh.
End of the month.
End of the month.
Are going to be there. We just saw each other last week, right? Our kids are there, and they're not running around screaming. Like, they're paying attention. They're listening. They're taking some notes. They're doing some schoolwork while they're there too. But kids are sponges, man. They'll learn whatever you want to teach them, good or bad. So focus on like good, positive things and how to build yourself wealth and create yourself a future. And so you never know. We could have a real estate mogul taking a nap right now or in the other room, and they'd maybe take care of mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, less lock picking kits for more real estate masterminds. It's funny, you never know where you go. I've been talking to some people in our mutual group family about deals in Poland and Romania. 'Cause I got Eastern Europe covered, right? Eastern Europe's a huge tapped market of commercial and everything else, and I was thinking to myself, "Wow, I've got a lot of people who probably understand the value of getting in some of these assets early." And, I never occurred to me until I went into that room and started talking to them. I thought to myself, "Actually, there's probably some really interesting things here." And so you do never know where things are going to, end up. I mean, we met each other, we didn't really see each other at the event, we met each other on the boat. Um, and, and that was kind of a nice happenstance, and here we are now.
Yep. No,
Um,
it's great. I absolutely love it. And that's the cool thing about the industry is you meet so many great people inside of the industry doing amazing things. So the best thing to do is to collaborate, meet everybody, learn about what they're doing, work together, make money together.
Yeah. There's
I
really no competition when you're with the right people. And
Yeah.
that's the coolest feeling is like, you're in the right space when everyone's like, they're only competing on who can give more. How can I help you? What can I do for your business? How can we get you XYZ? And it's just like when you're in rooms like that, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish out and tell me and everybody. I'm definitely going to have you guys inside the smartphone community to present a masterclass very soon. We'll work on in March on dates and all that. But for everybody listening, how can they how can they get in touch with you guys? What give us a little laydown on what your community is right now, your programs are right now, so that anybody is listening to this and thinking, okay, it is time for me to up my game. How can they find you?
So we have a free Facebook group. There's a lot of great stuff that goes in there. Everybody's welcome to join. Creative Finance Playbook. If you join that group, you'll see it. Join. But we share a lot of just like current deals, structures. We ask a lot of questions. We do a lot of Q&A inside of the group. Um, I think our podcast, YouTube, same thing, Creative Finance Playbook, even creativefinanceplaybook.com. There's a lot of free resources in there to get you started, whether it's getting some leads. How am I talking to these sellers? Where am we finding these people that will say yes to this? We pile all that in there for you guys. Just go use it. If you're going to do it, use it though. That's the whole key. So we put these resources out there to help you. So definitely join the group, our YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook, Joseph Delle Fave. Same thing on Instagram.
Yep. Jennifer Delle Fave, Jen Delle Fave. And we're all over social. So yeah, come hang out. And if it confuses you and your head's spinning, you're in the right space because that was me. I had no idea what terms even meant back in 2016. But a couple of deals in, you'll start figuring it out.
Fantastic. Well, I will make sure all those links go into the descriptions, etc. And I'm excited to have you guys in the community, and I am equally excited to see you guys in less than a month now in Tampa for a couple days with all of our friends. Thank you guys so much for coming by today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and enjoy the mid-cloudy day there.
We're going to go for a walk.
Oh yeah, we're about to go for a walk. It's 87, and it's March, so I'll take it.
Woohoo.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
so
thanks,
much,
guys.
everybody.
Have a
Take care,
fantastic
everybody.
time.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another amazing episode of That Real Estate Tech Guy. Head over to thatrealestatetechguy.com to check out all episodes and get special discounts on tons of awesome real estate technology platforms.